Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual Excel Academy. We are so happy to have you with us today. Today is Seasonal Awareness through Sensory Efficiency. We are welcoming you today to the APH Virtual Excel Academy. Feel free to drop in the chat who you are and where you're from. If you have someone who is helping you out, that is just fine. We know that a good group of people might have that. Robin, I hear, is for some reason in the waiting room. So Robin, if you will raise your hand, digital hand for me so I can move you where you belong, and we will get that fixed for you. Somehow you are a different person, so I hope you are the Robin that I want because you have the wrong last name, Robin. So are you the correct Robin?
I have no idea. If you're looking for one of the presenters, then no.
No, I'm going to put you back, but thank you. I am looking for a different Robin.
Gotcha.
There she is.
Do you see another person who raised their little digital hand for him? Robin is in there. Okay, I will find you, Robin. Robin, there's two of you. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
I will see if I can get you. Robin, can you talk?
Here.
Okay, is that you? Okay. I promoted her to panelist. We'll get her where she belongs. Sorry about that hiccup, guys. You know, every once in a while, those things check out. And Robin, I will talk to you later. I think I know why that happened. So welcome again, everyone, to the APH Virtual Excel Academy. We are so glad to have you with us. Today is Seasonal Awareness through Sensory Efficiency. And we would like you to welcome Melinda Dellert. Today, she is the one who is going to walk us through this. We completely expect that you might have a person helping you out today. If you do, realize we will understand if you can't write in the chat that we have a few people who can, and you're welcome to stay. This is a session that's built for students with more multiple disabilities. But again, we love people who join us. So I am going to stop sharing and say, take it away, Melinda.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for having me here today with you. I am glad to be able to spend this afternoon with you. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about myself. I have been a TVI for almost 30 years now, and I have been an itinerant teacher. I've been in the classroom. I've gone into the home to work with babies, and I've been an administrator. And since my husband is in the military, I have had the pleasure of being able to teach students all across the United States. So I am very, very happy to be here with you today. If I'm going to describe myself a little bit. If you can see the screen, my hair is a mixture of yellow, brown, and gray. I am wearing glasses. My glasses are an orange and yellow mix. And I am wearing a dark green shirt. And I picked a dark green shirt today because it reminds me of the season we're coming into, and it reminds me of Christmas, which is kind of a clue of what we're going to be doing today in our activity. But what I'd like you to do, if you can, or if you have somebody helping you, is just put something in the chat to tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, or something that you think is really special that you like to do, so I can kind of see and get to know you a little bit better. Okay. Some of people have written that it's hard for them to chat well. Zach is from Florida. We have a TVI from rural Southern Ohio. And we have one from Orange County, California. Leanne and I were just talking about our time working and teaching out in California. North Carolina. Oh my goodness. And Bethy is from Utah. Well, thank y'all for joining me today. I want to go over a little bit of what I call housekeeping. And I don't know if you can see. So we're going to do some housekeeping. And these are just how I'm going to structure today's lesson and how I'm going to proceed. The first thing that I do want to say in housekeeping is that I have 3 cats. And every time I get on a webinar or a Zoom meeting or a conference call, my cats think I'm talking to them. And so they like to jump up on my table, my workstation, my computer. So if you hear me say, shoo, or get down from here, I am not talking to you, I am talking to my cats. So my fingers are crossed that they will actually behave today and not knock over anything. But if suddenly my computer goes out, 10 to 1 says they have stepped on the power button or knocked something off. So that's my first item of housekeeping. And the second thing is, if you need help with today's lesson, that is perfectly okay. To ask for help, don't be afraid to. If you need me to stop and slow down, or if you need me to go back and repeat something or to demonstrate something else, then please raise your hand or put in the chat, and I will make sure that I either slow down, back up, or repeat something I just did. But I just want to say it's okay to ask for help. In setting up this session today, I had to have a lot of help. Technology is not my friend. And so I really had to have help working through this. So it is okay to ask for help today. Now, the next thing I'm going to go over is we will be working from and I don't know if you can see this, a work schedule board. And it may be a little too far out, but I'm going to do this the way I would teach my students. And normally my work schedule would be at the top of their workstation. And we will go through each picture. So we were going to talk about some first steps about today's lesson before we begin. We're going to touch some items. We are going to look at some items. And we are going to smell some items today. And after we do each of these, our activity today is building a sensory book or a sensory board. And I will go over a little bit later how exactly we're going to do all that. But this is our work schedule. And after we finish each one, I will pull it off and put it down because we've completed it. The one thing I do want to show you, and I'm going to see if I can get it up a little bit close. I have red lines that are on my work schedule. And when we get to these red lines, we're going to stop and we'll take a 5-minute break. And during that time, you will hear me say, Alexa, play Christmas music. And she will play Christmas music for 5 minutes while we take a break. During this time, you can stretch, you can get up and move, you can wiggle your fingers. If you have a flicker and you'd like to flick, you can do that. If you have crunchies and you need to chew on something, this is the time to do that. And when she's finished playing the Christmas music, then we will come back and resume our lesson. So that is kind of my housekeeping for today. So today's lesson is talking about seasonal awareness. And can anybody tell me what season we're coming into? Rachel says winter. Yes, we are coming into winter. And actually here in Huntsville, we had snow earlier this week. Zach says it's getting cold. It has definitely gotten cold here. Angela said it's winter. We are. It was kind of an oddity for us to have snow this week. It didn't stick to the ground, but it was very pretty coming down. But it has made this week quite cold. So as we come into winter, we also have a big holiday coming up. UK has lots of rain. Yes, I have not been in the UK during the winter, only the summer, but I have heard it rains a lot there.
Miss Melinda, this is Robin.
Yes.
Isabel has her hand raised and would like to say something to you.
Okay.
So she has permission to talk. And Isabel is one of our regular students. She will unmute in just a second and she will talk to you.
Oh, good.
Go ahead, Isabel.
Alt A.
Yep, or the space bar. We just heard from Isabel yesterday, so I think she just might have a little bit of trouble unmuting. We'll give her just another second more.
That is fine. I understand having the difficulties. I would have difficulty too.
Okay, Isabel, when you are ready to talk, we will look for you, but we are going to let Miss Melinda move on just a little bit. Go ahead, Miss Melinda.
All right. So we have a holiday coming up in winter. What holiday do we have coming up here? Can anybody?
We have another hand raised, Miss Melinda. It looks like Donnie has raised their hand. I'm gonna give them permission to talk. Go
Okay.
ahead, Donnie, and you can talk to Miss Melinda. You can hit the space bar, Donnie. We'll give you another second. Oh no, Miss Melinda, we are 0 for 2.
Oh,
We are.
can anybody put in the chat by chance, or if you have somebody working with you, put in the chat what holiday, big holiday we have coming up in winter?
All right, you can just keep going, Miss Melinda. We will keep looking to see how we can help everybody chime in, and sit tight, everybody. Keep going, Miss Melinda.
Okay, well, the big holiday we have coming up is Christmas. I know some people celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, but we do have a lot of holidays coming up in December and in the winter. And I'd like everybody, and I know we're having a little bit of difficulty with the communication, but if you could tell me something or put in the chat that is your favorite thing about the holidays. It could be the lights, the smells, the presents, whatever you like about the holidays, if you want to just let me know. Ashley says presents. Ah, Rudolph, that was just on TV the other night. Rachel likes the lights. Her mom makes the room dark. Oh, and it makes it possible to see them. Christmas lights are very, very pretty when everything else is dark. I do, Rachel, I like that as well. To me, it is very calming and soothing to look at Christmas lights. Zach says the music. Well, Zach, we are going to have some music play throughout this lesson. So we'll have some Christmas music a couple of times today. Well, my favorite time of the holiday are the smells. And I love the smell of Christmas trees. I love the smells of Christmas cookies that bake. I like all the different candies and the different scents associated with Christmas. Now, as we go forward, and we're going to keep in mind this is a seasonal sensory book that we're going to be making or a board. So we're going to be using our senses. And can anybody tell me what our senses are? When I say we're using senses, what does that mean? Rachel said she uses her hands a lot. Yes, and we use our hands for touch, and we can really feel and get a lot of good information. Zach says smell. What do we use, Zach, for smell? We use our yes, we use our nose to smell. What are some of the other senses that we have? Rachel said, okay, her teacher puts things under her feet to feel when she can't use her hands. That actually is a really good way to get senses. The other ways we can use our ears to hear. We can use our eyes to see. And we can use our mouth to taste. We can also use our mouth to touch. And sometimes I've had students who like to take objects, as long as they're safe and they're clean, and to put up to their mouth or their cheeks to get that feeling of touch. So we can use our senses in a lot of ways. And our first thing we're going to do, I call first steps. And for the first steps, whenever I am getting ready to work with my hands, I like to wake them up. My hands, because they're older, they just stay tired throughout the day. So I'm constantly having to wake them up if I'm going to use them, especially if I'm going to braille. I definitely have to wake them up. So to do this, we are going to do some just hand massage. And because we want to wake them up, we are going to take our hands and we're going to push up towards our arms. And this wakes up all those wonderful nerves in our hands and our fingers. So if you want to take a few minutes and massage your hands, push again up towards your arms, or if you have somebody working with you, if you give them permission, then they can massage your hands as well. We're going to do this for a few minutes. Oh, I can feel mine waking up. And then I like to take my fingers and pull my fingers. And sometimes they pop, sometimes they don't, but they're popping today. I don't know if you can hear it, but for whatever reason, they're all just popping away. And then I just take and wiggle my hands out to wake them up. Because we're going to be touching and doing a lot with our hands today. Like I said, we're going to be making a sensory book. And I did send out ahead of time some items that we would be using today. If you do not have those items, that is perfectly okay. Just use what you have, or if you just want to watch and make the sensory book or a sensory board later on, that is perfectly okay as well. So now we have come to a part in our schedule where I have a red line. And so what we're going to do right now is just take a quick 5-minute break. We're going to listen to some Christmas music. Again, we've woken up our hands. If you need to stretch, if you need to get up, if you need to crunch or flick, do that during this time. And then when the music is over, we are going to come back and we're going to use our senses to touch some wonderful Christmas items that we're going to use to make our book. So I am going to say, Alexa, play Christmas music for 5 minutes. And so she is going to play, and we're going to take a little break. I'm going to step back for a moment, and I will come back when the music stops.
Melinda, we do not hear music.
Can you not hear it?
No, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. I am not sure why you're not hearing it. I am so sorry about that, guys. Let me see if I can move her a little bit closer. Can you hear the music now?
We can. Do you want to put the symbol that our schedule on your board for us?
It is a little bit low, so I also have some music that I could play if we needed it to.
You are able to share, Robin, if you need to.
Okay, we are at our red line for stopping.
You'll need to rotate it for us to be able to see. Thank you. All right. Alexa has turned off the music. So our 5 minutes of break have ended, and we're going to come back. And we are now going to begin looking at some of the items that we've brought to make our sensory board or our sensory book. So we're going to touch some holiday objects. And when I begin working with objects in my hands, sometimes I like to take a bunch of things out at first and just kind of play with them a little bit, because I get really curious about what I have. And if it's new to me, then I'm really curious about how it feels. So I like to take just a few minutes and just play with my items. So if you want to take a few of the items you have with you and put onto your workstation or tray, and just kind of take your hands and just move around and play a little bit with them and just see what you have. I feel all sorts of things with my items. I have some that are soft. I have some that feel really rough. I have some that are shiny. And I have some that are cold that I'm feeling, but a whole bunch. So what are some of the items that you have today at your workstation that you've brought? Can you tell me some of the items that you have today? Some of the Christmas items, if you brought any?
Zach has ball ornaments. I didn't bring any ball ornaments today. I think most of mine are either flat or bells. A tray from Rachel. Any other items that you've brought today? Ah, pine needles. I thought about bringing pine needles. I have a bunch of pine trees in my backyard, and I actually thought about cutting some of those pine needles off and bringing them. Rachel has some pine cones on her tray. Ooh, those could be a little bit prickly sometimes. And Zach has some balls. So let's see what I have. Right now, I have, and the first one I picked up is a star ornament. And when I feel that, and sometimes I like to close my eyes when I'm feeling something because I think a little bit better about how it feels when my eyes are closed. And this feels rough. It almost feels like sandpaper. And it's got glitter on it. And so it's very actually shiny and reflective, but it feels very, very rough when I put my hands over it. How do your objects feel that you have? I'm going to ask Suzanne, how do the pine needles feel when you rub your hand over them? Prickly, yes. And she says they have a real Christmas tree this year. That is awesome that you have a real Christmas tree. I have not put my tree up yet. I've decorated the other parts of my house, but I just have not gotten my tree up. So Suzanne, I'm debating whether or not I want a real tree this year. And the pine cones are bumpy. Yes, they are bumpy. And Zach, I have something that may feel like the balls, Christmas balls you have. I have some little bells here. And my bells, they're smooth, they're hard, but they're cold. How do your Christmas balls feel? They're attached to a leather strap. Mine have like a gold string that they're attached to. And my balls are made out of metal. And so they are hard. They can get really cold, but they can also get hot. But they're smooth. They're smooth metal that I have. Let's see what else I have. I don't know if you can see this. I'm gonna lay it on its side. It's a little small, but it is a red boot. And it looks like a boot Santa Claus would wear. And again, it is shiny. It's made of glitter. And glitter seems to make everything feel rough like sandpaper when you rub your hands on it. So it's not smooth at all when I touch it. It's not really cold or warm. And it is hard. So what I'd like to do is maybe just take a few of your favorite items that you have. And I think I'm going to take my star. I'm going to take my Santa boot. And I actually have a little red flower. And this is called a poinsettia. And it has red petals on it. And it has little gold in the middle. And this is one of my favorite flowers in the winter. And so I'm going to set it to the side. So I have 3 items to the side. I'm going to take the rest of my items and put up for now because I won't be using them. And the next thing we are going to do is we are going to see some holiday pictures. And again, if you didn't bring any holiday pictures, that's okay. I have some I'm going to share with you. And when I am looking at pictures, sometimes I need a little bit extra to get my vision to really get going and highlight what I'm seeing. So sometimes I take a little light, and let's see if my little lights are working today, and I put it right where I want to look. And that just helps me bring my vision in better to where I'm looking. And another thing, when I'm looking at pictures, and this helps, sometimes I really need pictures highlighted. And so I will take a black Sharpie pen and I will just go around the edges. And this just makes my vision hone in a little bit more, where I can see it better and I can understand what I'm seeing a lot better. Now, some people may not like to use black. I've had students like various colors. If you need to use a highlighter, you can use a highlighter. I have a green highlighter right here that you can use. So whatever you need to help you kind of see the picture better is okay. But these are just some of the things that I need and like to use when I'm looking at something. Now, I don't know if you can tell what I'm looking at, but I will give you a hint. This really isn't a bird, though I don't think it's considered a bird. It's a penguin, and it's got black up at the top. It has a white face. The penguin has rosy cheeks, and there's its bill, and then it has its two eyes. And this penguin actually is wearing a scarf and a hat, and both his hat and his scarf are blue. And at the top of my picture, it says warm wishes. Now, why would I need to be telling somebody, wishing them warm wishes in the wintertime? Why would I need to be telling them to keep warm? Zach tells me it is in the bird category. It just does not fly. Thank you, Zach. So does anybody want to give me a hint as to why I need to wish people warm wishes in winter? Yes. Rachel says she lives in a cold place right now, so she likes being warm. And Zach says winter is colder. You are right. Winter is a lot colder, so we want to wish people to stay warm and bundle up during winter. So this is one of my pictures that I have. Do y'all have any pictures that you would like to share or tell me about that you've brought for today's lesson? Okay, I'm going to share one more picture I have. And this one is somebody I think we will all recognize. Miko says he has pine cones dusted with snow that she is holding in her hand. Oh, wow, that sounds really nice. I would love to see pine cones dusted with snow. So I think this is somebody most of us are familiar with. I'm just going to kind of outline him a little bit so I can see a little bit better. I'm going to outline his hat. And this person. He has a red hat, a white beard. Donnie beat me. I couldn't even finish the question. It's Santa. Yes, it is Santa Claus. And I know we are seeing him a lot this time of the year and pictures of him everywhere. And I think Santa, with his rosy cheeks that he has, I just think he makes Christmas fun. And I know I would always get so excited on Christmas to know that Santa may bring me some presents when I was growing up. So yes, Santa is one of my pictures. Zach says he has a candle that smells like cinnamon. Rachel, thank you. You said you like my light. I have to have light when I'm looking at something. It just really brings my central vision in and makes me look at the detail a lot better when I have a light. Otherwise, sometimes my eyes just get scattered and I'll look at everything. So does anybody else want to share a picture that they brought for today's lesson? Okay, well, I'm going to set my Santa picture to the side along with my penguin. And I am going to set them with the objects that I have chosen to use for my sensory book. And the next thing that we are going to do are smells. And Zach has already told me he has a candle that smells like cinnamon. So I'm going to pull out some things that smell to me like Christmas. And I have pieces of peppermint. And I have some different pieces of peppermint and butterscotch that are always seem to be around at Christmas time. And I'm going to actually unwrap the peppermints. And this one's pretty. It is round, it's white, and it has red. And I can already smell the scent of peppermint when I unwrapped it. Zach, you like your bells the best? I like bells as well. And I'm going to unwrap my butterscotch. Did any of y'all bring any candy for today's lesson? My Zach has a candy cane. You are right. Candy canes are, and Rachel has candy canes, are very, very common in Christmas. I didn't have any candy canes. I just had a bunch of peppermint and butterscotch for today. So most of my candy is round and it's smooth. Miko also has a candy cane and a Twix. Oh my goodness. Is your Twix wrapped in the pretty green Christmas wrapping paper that they have this time of year? Nope, it's just the regular kind. Still good though. Twix are one of my favorite as well. So we can bring our candy up to our nose and we can use our nose to smell the wonderful scents of Christmas. And I'm going to pull out, let's see if I have any other candy. Oh, I don't think I do. I think I just have peppermint and butterscotch today. So I'm going to take my peppermint and butterscotch and I'm going to set it to the side to use for later. And we can come again to our, if I can get it out. And Leanne, I think I'm going to have to go to the camera view versus my phone view for this. Okay, we have come to another red line, and that means we're going to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to ask Alexa to play Christmas music, and then we're going to come back.
I'm going to ask Robin to play Christmas music.
Ask Robin too?
You know what? I do have some Christmas music that I would be happy to play, only because I love the sounds.
All the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse
Can you hear that?
Yes, we can.
Yes, thank you.
In a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated at my side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed his lot. He slipped upon a drifting bank, and then we got upset. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Thank you, Robin, for sharing your Christmas music with us. Oh. That's okay. All right. So if everybody is ready, we're going to start building our seasonal sensory book. And what I am going to use, if you're using a book, what I am using is just some black card. It's called cardstock paper. I like to use black and have a black background because I have an issue with glare, and black seems to do the best without reflecting glare. But I know others may like to use different colors. You can use green if you want for your sensory board. You can use red, which would be a great holiday color. You could use a blue to build your board. Or if you want, and this is one of my favorite colors, you can use pink to build it. But for today, I'm going to use black because I can see best when I use black. If you are using a sensory board instead of a book, I have a cookie sheet that we will be doing some stuff on, and I will show you how to use the cookie sheet to build your sensory board. So what I'm going to do, and you can follow along with me, is I am going to take one of my objects that I set aside earlier. And I'm going to take my star first. And I'm going to take some glue. And I'm going to just make glue just right in the center of my page. And I'm just kind of making a big circle going around and around with it. And then I'm going to take my star and I'm going to press really, really hard so that it will stay glued onto my page. I'm going to add a little bit more glue here. And sometimes when I add stuff to a page, I want to highlight it a little bit more. So I will take glitter glue, because glitter glue seems to, it leaves a nice bumpy feel that I can touch. And it also highlights where I see. And so I can go all around my object with my glitter glue. Now, if you're going to highlight your object with glitter glue, you have to set it to the side and let it dry for a little bit before you can put your book together. So I'm going to set it to my side and let it dry. And I am going to take another piece of paper. And I'm going to take another object. And if you want to take another object, you can get one. And we're going to glue another object. This time I have my Santa boot that I am going to glue on my page. So I'm going to take my glue and go down and make just a big old circle and then put my Santa boot right in the middle. And because I like to be able to really see stuff, I am going to take my glitter glue and just highlight around it. And that way, it just makes my boot show up a little bit more. So we're going to take that and set it to the side. And now I am going to take one of my Christmas pictures. And I'm going to take the one that Zach helped me identify. He said the penguin is a bird, but it doesn't fly. So I'm going to put some glue down. And then I'm going to take my picture and just pat it down. And with this, I've already highlighted with my Sharpie the picture of the penguin so I can see it a little bit better. But you can also, if you like, go around it with glitter glue and highlight it even more. And so the last that, oh, if you hold me just 1 second for some. Alexa, turn off the music. Alexa, turn off the music. Excuse me. Alexa, turn off the Christmas music.
Melinda has gone to go tell her Alexa to behave because it looks like her Alexa is not behaving.
She does not. I greatly apologize for that. She decided to have a mind of her own right now. So the last items I'm going to glue down are my candy. And I know a lot of y'all had candy canes that you can glue down as well. And if you really want to add some smell to your book, this is just a spritzer bottle that I have, and I put peppermint extract in it. And so what I can do is I can just kind of spray the pages of my book, and now my whole book smells like peppermint. So I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to bring out my cookie sheet, because if you're doing a sensory board instead of a book, what I use is just Velcro. And how many of you have worked with Velcro before? Has anybody felt Velcro? To know that on one side, we have a really rough side, and on one side, we have a smooth side that it adjoins to. So if you're doing a sensory board, I like to use Velcro dots, and that way I can just adhere. We use it every day. Yes. You like the sound of the Velcro? I do too. I actually like the rough part and running my fingernails along the rough part of the Velcro. I like the way it feels. And sometimes Velcro is easier to use than glue, so you can use the Velcro in your book as well, if you prefer that, if you're going to make one later. So I'm just going to do a few more items on my sensory board with my Velcro. And I'm going to place that right there. And that way I can, there's that sound. I can just pull it up and put it back down. So that's kind of how we can do our sensory book and sensory board. When you're all done, if you want to take some of your pages, get some of mine. And I'm going to move the board out of the way and bring in my page with my picture. You can use a hole puncher, and I have two types of hole punchers. The one I'm going to use is one that I can put my paper in, and then I can press down with my hand on it. And that's easier for me to use. I did bring a handheld one. So if you prefer to use a handheld hole puncher where you can decide wherever the punches, wherever the holes you want, and you can, and it also has a pretty cool sound to it. And then all I'm going to do is take some tape. Well, this actually is ribbon. And this is some glitter ribbon that I have. And it's very shiny and reflective. But remember when I said everything I have with glitter feels rough? This ribbon actually feels pretty rough too when I touch it. So this part you may need some help on. I'm not very good at it as well. But to put my pages together, I am going to thread my ribbon through one of the holes that I punched. And then I'm just going to tie it. I'm not going to worry about tying it in a bow. But I'm just going to tie it in a little knot on the edge of my page. And if you don't want to punch holes, another way you can bind your book is with tape. And sometimes this is easy. So all you have to do is take a piece of tape. Again, I have some glitter tape. It's green and it's rough as well. And then I can just tape along the edges of my book and it puts it all together. So when you're building your book, this is your book. You can make it any way that you want it. You can be as creative as you want it to be, and you can put whatever you want in it. I would encourage you as you go into the holidays to start saving a few things that you really like and that have special memories for you in the holidays. And then you can build, after Christmas is over, you can build you a memory book of all the fun things that you did over Christmas. So this is our end of our lesson today. And I'm going to put that we are finished. And I greatly appreciate all of y'all staying with me today and helping me go through and use our senses and talk about some of the seasonal items that we have. So thank you very, very much. And I wish everyone a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you so much, Melinda. Okay, now I've got to figure out what's going to go in my own sensory book. So I have my memories together. I don't think I can put a sugar cookie or a gingerbread cookie in, though. Thinking that might not last. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Next week on Thursday is Exploring Your Feelings Through Music. So again, we are so glad to have you join us. Next week for this crew is Exploring Your Feelings Through Music. We also have other great things on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we look forward to seeing you. Melinda, thank you so much.
Thank you.